everyone, Blake here from Cali Raised LED, and for our adventure series, we're talking about build planning. So we got this awesome Tacoma here owned by Mr. Dave, and he's gonna tell us all about his rig, about his plan, what he's doing, and just show us a really nice Tacoma. So my first question for you is, what year is this?
This is a 2020.
Okay, so brand new. What is the first thing you did when you drove this thing home? Or you might have had the stuff ready before you even drove it home. What's kind of the first thing you did with this new Tacoma?
Actually gave some roses to my wife, you know, for the truck. But the first thing that I did was I put some spacers on there.
Sure.
Just to kind of give it the level, the 3.2, but not knowing exactly how it's going to evolve to where I'm at today.
Okay.
But it was a great mod to get me out the door.
Yeah, it gives it kind of a neat look so you're not driving around stock for a while. Yeah, definitely. What is kind of I see you have a ton of stuff on here. What's your favorite mod you've done to this truck? I mean, you have a lot of them, so I'm sure there's a few. If it's two, what's kind of your favorite thing about this truck?
The one mod that I love is the Cali Raised bed rack.
Okay.
And the reason why it's giving me the opportunity to change, configure to whatever I'm trying to do. I'm an avid mountain biker, so I went with the high one. Way I can actually throw my bikes in the back.
Sure.
So that worked perfect for me. And at that point, it just lets me adapt to putting a tent on top to gas cans on the side.
Awesome. Yeah, no, it looks like you got a lot of neat stuff mounted on here. Yeah. I have two questions for your sliders. It looks like you have the 0 degree with the step. Why did you go with the 0 degree with the step over the 25 degree?
I love my rock sliders. So it did take some thought to going into these, selecting them. I know I'm gonna get a dog, you know, so I started looking, you know, where it can step. Yeah. And it would get in, but also I just love the way the flare outs on it.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, it just solid product.
Yeah, they look really nice on here, especially with a little dust on them. They kind of match the track. So I see you have a King suspension on here. I was kind of checking this out. It's really nice. I mean, they're the King, you know. Right. Why did you kind of, I mean, you started with spacers, going from spacers to Kings. That's kind of from, you know, going 1 to 100. What kind of got you to that, and why did you go with a King suspension on this truck?
Well, I figured, you know, I looked at different products, you know, from the Fox 2.5 coilovers to Bilsteins, and then, I mean, right now it's just hard to get a product, but I figured if you're gonna get something, you do kind of go, you know, to the extreme, go all out. And I've been really happy with the King 2.5 coilovers. It gives me that 3-inch, close to 3-inch lift of what I'm looking for.
Yeah, it sits really nice, even with the added weight in the back from the bed rack and all that. It doesn't look like it's, you know, leveled down or anything. It sits really nice.
And the old EMU springs in the back.
Okay, so you did change your springs on there. Okay, what was your kind of goal when you were building this truck? I mean, starting from, you know, putting some spacers. I'm sure you saw the truck, you're like, man, it looks good. Now you got this thing fully decked out. You know, were you planning on going all out from the beginning, or did you just kind of get into it and couldn't stop? What was your kind of goal for this truck? Was it to get it so you could go to places? You know, what's kind of your goal with this truck for the build?
One of my goals was getting out. Living our life is one of my things, is getting out, and it's an expansion of my mountain biking efforts. But I would always, this truck allows me to get out to some of these austere locations that you just can't do. Yeah. But that being said, I'm also able to do it, you know, being protected, you know, with some lights so I can see to guide me there. And the equipment on top to house my equipment. But this has just been it's like a therapy, getting out in the outdoors.
Definitely.
So
right now, it's beautiful. My last question is, you've gone through it recently. What would be like some advice you would give to someone who either just got their Tacoma or has one on order, you know, or is thinking about getting one, and when they get it, what would kind of, you know, maybe something that you learned, or what would like your first just piece of advice, whether it's about a product you got or something you wish you did that you didn't, or something you did that you thought was a great idea, you know, what's kind of your quick piece of advice you think with this truck?
I would say definitely jump on the forums, you know, the build forums, the Tacoma forums, and see what's out there working for other people, and then don't be afraid to ask questions. You know, I show up at the shop and ask, hey, would this work with this type of lighting? And, you know, then so I get advised, you know, definitely saves me some money in the long run. Yeah. But also gets me in the right product.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's what I love about that.
Yeah, it's really clean. You got, you know, a lot of the same stuff. Everything looks really good with this truck. I mean, this is, if I had a Tacoma, I would build it out just like this. I think it's a great truck. Well guys, thank you very much. The Adventure Series this week, we had an awesome truck, and tune in to see more.